We're 5 weeks into the Washington Commanders season. We're 1/4 of the way through the season already. I know time flies. It's time to bring the vibes back. It's time to restore the feeling. Jayden Daniels officially full go at practice this week. Sam Cosmi, 21-day window. He's back to practice this week. Terry McLaurin, probably on a limited basis, also back to practice this week. Let's get back to who we are. It doing? What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about our Washington Commanders. We are already in must-win mode 5 weeks into the season. We're going to LA. It is homecoming week for our homecoming king. QB1 starting quarterback Jayden Daniels is back on the practice field. Yes, he's wearing a knee brace. I'm not sure how bulky the knee brace is. I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of video of it at some point this afternoon. But how are y'all doing right now? It is Wednesday afternoon. It is the first day of my favorite month of the year. It's my birthday month. It's October. It feels very autumny outside. It's sunny with a breeze, and it's not hot or humid. How are y'all doing on this Wednesday afternoon? My computer is on its last legs, and I had some technical difficulties Monday and Tuesday, and we had some schedule conflicts with Lake. We're going to try to get one with Lake before the end of the week. But shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody who checked in with the boy, and shout out to all of y'all who are keeping your best optimism hat and you're keeping your composure as Washington goes into October. So you don't win a Super Bowl in September. If you did, Dak Prescott would be the Tom Brady of the NFL. Dak Prescott is a September demon. He is a September demon, man. But you don't win him in September. But Washington had a golden opportunity to get out of September 3-1, despite having our franchise quarterback, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 3, tight end 2, free safety. We had a laundry list, CVS receipt length of injury reports, and we could have made it out the month 3-1. But guess what? We didn't, but we got to keep it pushing. We got the Los Angeles Chargers on the road this week. Shout out to Metaphor, by the way. Metaphor, who y'all always see in the chat. Rambler family, burgundy.com. He has Bill hats in black, white, and burgundy. Make sure y'all get y'all one, because these joints is fly, and I'm starting the Feed Bill campaign. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of what Washington needs to do, and we're going to do some quarterly grades. You know, just like in school, we reached the quarter part of the year. My son's about to get his first report card, and my daughter. You know, let's do a quarterly report card, interim progress report, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go position by position and grade them. We're not going to single nobody out and give no one a grade by themselves, but we're going to go position by position, grade everybody, grade the coaching staff, and grade the general manager. And let's get an undefeated October started on the channel, on the field, and we need to get that road dog shit back, man. Shout out to my sponsor, SeatGeek. Rio 10 on SeatGeek for any tickets all year. If you are attending the Bears game on Monday Night Football the night before my birthday next week, get 10% off your tickets using promo code Rio10. And let's win some money in October. If they have it in your area, the best fantasy app in the world, Sleeper, using code Rio91. Let's get back to winning some money. I'm going to have some tickets for Thursday night and some picks. We're going to get back to winning, because I almost cashed me a mean one the other day, but I don't take the safe route like my guy, the real Ed O. I always take the harder route. But before we get into the nitty gritty of it, man, shout out to Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you have a chance to win 1,000 times your cash on daily fantasy. Football has never been more exciting than it is with players like Jayden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Jamar Chase. Pick on stats for these stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more. We're up to a 1,000 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right and you could win big using promo code RIO91. That was promo code RIO91 and you'll get up to a $100 match bonus on your first deposit. Terms and conditions may apply. Rio91 on Sleeper, and for the month of October, a new promo is here. You can pair it with the 100% deposit match. Free $20 to play with. If Sleeper is in your area, free $20 to play with, no deposit required, plus a first-time user still receives the 100% match bonus. One more time, free $20 to play with, no deposit required. Get on Sleeper and use promo code RIO91 when you do so. So let's start this off today by hearing an update from Dan Quinn. The quarterback's back on the practice field. He has on a knee brace. Terry McLaurin's supposed to be back at the practice field. Sam Cosmi's back. Let's hear a little bit of what DQ Big Head Ass was talking about at the podium today.
All right. What's up, everybody? All right. We'll begin today with some good news. Sam Cosmi will begin his 21-day window.
We love to hear
Got
it.
injured in January, and he has worked his ass off to get back on the field with his teammates, so it'll be great to have him back at practice. Also said I'd give you an update on JAYDEN. He has been medically cleared by the doctors. He'll practice full today.
Yes, Lord.
As far as other injuries and practice updates, we'll put out the injury report later today. And also wanted to give a big shout out and a welcome to Paul Taboni and the Nationals, and definitely pulling for those guys, I believe, as he's got started today. So glad to open up to you guys and get rolling.
What have you seen with JAYDEN over the last week or so, really, as he's dealt with this?
Just a steadfast approach to it, Nikki, first off, to put the work in to say, okay, I got to do all the things to do to get better.
I'm going to stop you right there, DQ, before you go into your word soup of nothingness that I do love, though, because they don't give up too much from the team. And my concern, appreciate you, T. Wade, for the $1.99 super chat donation. I love the profile picture, by the way. Absolutely hilarious. You concerned about AP's free agent decision? I think I'm more concerned with the overall draft picks, considering there are so many useless guys that we've took in that first draft class. But concerned, not there yet, but some of the approach, we're past the honeymoon stage now. So we're at the point where we can now constructively criticize some of the things from the quarterback, the GM, the coaching staff. You're not kicking backs in. You don't want anybody fired or anything like that, but you do see some chinks in the armor. You see some of the approach is not necessarily advantageous, and it almost feels like you need a perfect Jayden Daniels to win on most nights in this league. But it's just September. We're going to find out a lot about this team with this at LA, home versus Chicago on Monday night, at Dallas, and at Kansas City run. We're only home one time in the month of October, and we're on Monday Night Football 2 times. We don't play on 1 o'clock. We don't play a 1 o'clock kick until December 7th when we go up to Minnesota and the Great Lakes. So we're going to find out a lot about this team. And not only are we going to find out, the world's going to find out, because it's America's game of the week this week. Then it's Monday night. And then it's America's game of the week versus the Dallas Cowboys. And then it's Monday night again versus the Chiefs, who are getting their lives together and getting healthy at the right time and looking like they're about to get primed up to compete for another championship. So I'm not concerned yet, but I am scratching my head about some of the decisions, some of the selections. But just like a guy like Luke McCaffrey can turn a new leaf, maybe some of these guys we've signed and drafted can start to do the same going forward, starting this week in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, man. I appreciate you for rocking with the boy. Libra season, baby. Let's get it. Birthday win. What up, Big Paul? What up, Big Paul? How are you doing on this Wednesday afternoon, my guy? We're trying to bring the vibes back. It is a new month to wash the September woes off our bodies and get back to victory. Get back to doing what get back to having an identity again. Y'all miss seeing Washington with an identity? Because I know I do. Because I remember when we used to hunt and gather. You know how they say on social media sometimes men used to hunt and gather and now they carry purses and shit like that. Remember when we used to hunt? Remember when we used to attack success and go for it on fourth down with confidence? It feels like when we go for it on fourth down this year, we were forced at gunpoint. Like we had to. The time management has been bad. The communication. Oh, don't get me started on the communication. I bet you at some point very soon in this Dan Quinn presser, he's going to start talking about communication. And how many different regimes and era of Washington Commanders football do we have to talk about communication gaps? At some point, a coaching staff has to stop. A coaching staff is the one that's responsible, and they have to be able to communicate effectively. And here's some footage of Jayden at practice with the sweatpants on. He's hiding the knee brace, but there's a knee brace there. If you want to check out his gait, if you want to play body language Olympics and you want to start making over assessments of what he looks like at practice, I'll leave this clip up here for you and you can do what you will with this information. But the boy's back, full go, no limitations, and he's been fully medically cleared by the doctors. They did not rush him back. And even though my opinion changed during both weeks, my initial thought of leaving Jayden out for 2 weeks, taking his PTO and coming back for homecoming week versus the Los Angeles Chargers, that ended up being true. So while it might have seemed soft and it might have seemed pussy coming from me, turned out to be correct. But where does Washington go? October 14th, my dog. October 14th, man. RIP to your pops, man. Shout out to Libra Gang. Shout out to October birthdays worldwide. It feels amazing outside. But starting with the quarterback, that's where we go there first. We're going to talk about free agents. We're going to grade positions. We're going to do all of that. Let's start here. Jayden Daniels is back on the football field this week. We're going to move under the guys and under the Jayden is going to play Sunday, and he's back. And he's 100% because clearly they would not have put him back on the field if he was not 100%. Jayden has to look like Jayden this week. That is my main idea for this week. I don't want to go too deep into the preview because we're going to preview it on the channel tomorrow, and we're going to preview it one more time on Friday. But Jayden, one of the main reasons why this season has felt so meh and lackluster through these first 4 weeks is because we haven't seen our GOAT look like our GOAT yet. He looked B plus-ish versus the Giants week 1, and he played his worst NFL game in week 2, and he happened to get injured in it, and we haven't seen him since. So in a world where Dak Prescott is lighting the world on fire in tie football games versus the same team we couldn't score in a world where Drake May is frying, where Caleb Williams has won 2 games in a row, where the Eagles are winning games despite playing without a quarterback for one half a week, we haven't seen Jayden look like the superstar, elite, upper echelon Maserati that we know he is at any point this career. Like, even the Raiders game, which felt phenomenal. I was there with my son. I had an amazing time. Part of it didn't feel the same because it wasn't 5 out there, because he is the ultimate neutralizer, equalizer, and I know he don't play defense, but he kind of do, because part of Jayden's superpowers is he keeps the ball away from our defense. He keeps our bum-ass defense off the field. He extend drives, and most importantly, Marcus Mariota, you get an A for the 2 weeks that you came in here for me, because that's the best a donut tire is going to do. He got you to work, he got you from work both times with no hiccups. With no hiccups at all. You only needed to fuel up the vehicle one time. That donut tire is as best as it gets, but the difference between Marcus Mariota and 5 is, 1, how Jayden can keep the chains rolling with his legs, and for whatever reason versus the Atlanta Falcons, Mariota refused to run, and number 2, Jayden Daniels does not turn the football over. The fumble versus the Raiders, didn't really care about it much, but the interception versus the Atlanta Falcons, Mariota played good enough to win. 27 points on the road with your backup quarterback. That should win you a football game 9 times out of 10. No, it should win you a football game 10 times out of 10, to be totally honest. But the interception he threw in a game where it's a shootout, your defense could not stop anything. They couldn't stop traffic. They couldn't stop the kid from getting in the cookie jar. You have to score every time. Your kicker can't miss kicks. You can't give the ball back to the other team. And that interception hurt us because it took some momentum and it took a scoring opportunity. We ended up losing the game by a touchdown. We were driving. Weren't we about at midfield when he threw that pick, or a little bit ahead of midfield? You can't throw drives away. And also, we got to stop forcing tightly contested passes to little-ass Jalen Lane. He not built for that yet. He not built for any of that. Just give him the ball out in space on screens and on crossers. Mess route God, Jalen Lane. Stop throwing deep posts. Stop throwing slants. Stop throwing tight window passes to Jalen Lane. But back to what I was saying with Jayden Daniel. Jayden keeps chains moving. Jayden does not turn the ball over. So technically, it's almost like he does play defense because he protects the defense from itself. He keeps the defense out of harm's way. Y'all remember, like, I'm not trying to bring y'all memories of the NFC Championship, but it was just a perfect reflection of that first drive of the game. We ended up only getting 3, but we took 7 minutes off the clock. We're getting dogged in time of possession this year. One of our main superpowers in the 2024 season, we dominated time of possession. Jayden just kept the chains going. We confidently went for it on 4th down. We're taking 6, 7, even sometimes 8+ minutes off the clock and punching it in for 6 and not thinking twice about it when the down becomes 4th. We got to get back to that. So the main thing I want to see from Jayden, it's not a statistical benchmark. It's does Jayden look like Jayden on Sunday? Because if he does look like himself, we're going to be successful. We're going to win this football game. I think the Chargers are playing better football than Washington. That's even with a loss to the sorry-ass New York Giants on Sunday, who started Jackson Dart for their first time this year. Love what Jim Harbaugh's doing over there. They're getting a lot from their young talent. And Justin Herbert, 4th in the league in passing, he's playing MVP-like football. You know, he got a baddie on his side. All of a sudden, he's moving different. He can run again, man. But when Jayden's looking like Jayden, we have a shot versus anybody, a shot versus everybody, and Jayden gets a chance to dispel one of these myths that are going on about him right now, because we're being called fake demons because we can't beat a good team. We can't beat a playoff team, and Jayden's kryptonite, apparently, especially versus the Green Bay Packers, is zone defense, and nobody finna zone you up better in this league than the Los Angeles Chargers defense. So he gets to face some of his demons. We get a chance in front of the world. Tom Brady and them on the call. America's game of the week. Go out and beat a good football team, because Lord knows what it's going to look like for the next week or so if we lose to another good football team. Oh, Washington can't beat nobody. Washington can only beat the Raiders and the Giants. They're 0-2 versus good teams this year when it comes to the Packers and the Chargers. Very important to get October off on the right foot. And for us to do so, number one, we need Jayden Daniels to look like Jayden Daniels. And we can take a little trip on the other side of the ball. Now, what up, C-Rob for president? What up, my guy? What do we change in coverage? Because we can't cover a crossing guard right now. We can't cover a handicap right now. Like, it's bad. It is bad. But that is a great transition into the next topic, because while number one is Jayden looking like Jayden, number 1B is Joe Witt's defense needs an intervention. They need a life-changing turnaround right now, because how they're playing is not enough for us to be a playoff team. It's not enough for us to beat good teams. It's not enough. We're bad at zone. We're bad at man. We're bad at communicating, and we're not consistent enough tackling or getting to the quarterback. So that brings me to the next point. What are we good at on defense? What are we actually good at on defense? Because I listed you just about everything a defense does. We're not good at anything. And in the game where we were good versus the Raiders a week ago, the Raiders left a lot of meat on the bone. We couldn't even force a turnover versus bum-ass Gino, who feel like he throws three or four of those a week. We did finally force a turnover, so I'm going to tip my hat. I'm going to clap it up. Yay, we forced the turnover 4 weeks into the season. We had two other golden opportunities to change the game and to chain snatch the momentum from the Falcons on Sunday. Deron Payne on the first drive of the year forces a fumble. Not a damn white jersey inside. They just look at it and it's like poison. You know, on a punt return, when someone calls out poison or toxic, you're supposed to get away from the football because if you touch it, the other team can recover it. That's how we move when the ball's on the ground. We hate nice things. We hate turnovers, and we definitely hate recovering fumbles. But shout out to Payne for forcing one. And speaking of that punt situation I just mentioned, it happened on Sunday. You just knew in that skirmish, in that hodgepodge clusterfuck of players running near the football on the punt return, a Falcons player touched the ball. And of course, a Washington player had a golden opportunity, was the first person who saw it and started to dive at it. Did we recover it? Absolutely not, because we don't recover fumbles here. But for this defense to get better, they need to be opportunistic, because even as shit as they're playing, especially in coverage, in tackling, whatsoever, if they could just flip the field and cash in some of these turnovers, you forget about some of the bad shit. Some of these numbers don't look as bad. We're keeping drives going because we're leaving opportunities on the field. You're taking a touchdown away from these guys if you pick up that fumble. You're taking points off the board. If you catch that interception, we're dropping. Marshawn Lattimore had an interception opportunity. Did he catch it? Fuck no. Because that's not what Marshawn Lattimore does in 2025 or in 2024. It's been a couple years. It was 2023 the last time Marshawn Lattimore caught an interception. Shout out to Louis T on Commanders Kings last night. He predicted and he's manifesting a Marshawn Lattimore pick six. If that actually does come true, y'all need to hound Louis for the lottery numbers, because it would be that kind of day if he does so. But this defense isn't very good and is not very talented. So the way that they turn it around is they have to wreak havoc in the pocket, and they need to force turnover. That's the fix. That is the fix. And God forbid we learn what emotion is. So as we sit here at what time is it? 1:38 on a Wednesday afternoon going into week 5 of the season. Let me holler my boy Herb real quick. Herb Bridges, appreciate you for the $4.99 super chat donation and for your channel membership. Shout out to Libra Gang, Road Warrior today, me Saturday, Rio next week. Bang, bang, Libra Gang. My boy T Coop got a birthday. My boy Paul got a birthday. Shout out to all the Libra birthdays in the building. October is my favorite month of the year. Spooky season, baby. Herb, again, appreciate you for locking in with your guy for 8 months. JD5 and Cosmi back. Great news, great vibes. And we're trying to restore the feeling going into week 5 of this season. What up, Trail Riddick? Appreciate you for locking in, and appreciate the over 470 people in the chat right now. If y'all could y'all smash the thumbs up, smash the like button on this one. It helps push this content out to a wider audience as we push toward 25,000 by the end of the 2025 season. But here's what I want to talk about. Oh, no, we got one more. My boy Trey, one more time for the 1999, man. I appreciate you, my guy. Guys, please enlighten me if I'm wrong about this. Please enlighten me if I'm wrong about this. Did the motion just become a thing in football this year? Did pre-snap movement get introduced to the sport that I love in 2025? Because Joe Witt's defense, they get put in a trance. They are befuddled. They are perplexed. They're gassed. I mean, their flabbers get gasted every time a motion happens. As soon as a wide receiver goes in motion, my heart flutters. My heart skips a beat because in our two losses this year, we've given up almost 600 yards against pre-snap movement and motion, bro. Like, do y'all panic when y'all see it now? Because as soon as you see Mikey and Marshawn being run in motion, it's like, uh-oh. Because we have do we not practice? Like, does the scout team in our offense not do pre-snap movement against our defense? Because we look at motion like it's learning Mandarin or some shit. They get whatever they want as soon as they run these guys in motion. And that all comes back to me as non-preparation by the defensive coordinator. I know I've told y'all to relax and give Joe Witt time, but we're definitely turning on the seat warmers in the car. I'm not saying we lighting a fire to Joe Witt's ass just yet, but the seat warmers are on in the vehicle, and it's only October 1st. You should not need the seat warmers on at this point, but the seat's definitely warming up for Buddy, because why are we incapable of defending a play in motion? Every team in the league runs motion and pre-snap movement. Why can't we defend that shit? And why do we put players in disadvantageous situations? Why do we have Mikey Sanders still trying to run a fade with 6'5" Drake London? Why on God's green earth are we running Bobby Wagner on an island in coverage with Bijan Robinson? Bijan Robinson is a top 2 or at worst top 3 offensive weapon in the NFL. What world did we think old ass like, I'm not even mad at Bobby for that. How can we be mad at Bobby for not being able to catch Bijan one-on-one on a swing route? Why are we doing that? Just like we had Bobby 30 yards down the field trying to cover the seam route versus Tucker Kraft week 2 on Thursday Night Football against the Packers. Bobby old as shit, bro. We the oldest team in the league, and so far through 4 weeks of the season, we actually look like the oldest team in the league, and I can't have that. You see, we could survive with all these old players, but we need the young players on the roster supplementing them. Stop going to a podium and telling me that Jordan McGee has all these packages, he's so athletic, and we can't wait to utilize. Where the fuck is he on these plays where a linebacker needs to cover? Washington's 2 linebackers are not coverage linebackers. Frankie Louvu, not a coverage linebacker. Bobby Wagner, at this big age in his career, definitely not a coverage linebacker. So these things stand out like a sore thumb at this point. And obviously, NFL coaches watch film. So if you see, oh, if we isolate Bobby, it's a wrap. Oh, find number 2 wherever he is on the field. Wherever Marshawn, he's a marked man. Marshawn Lattimore in 2025 is a marked man. Every team that shows up at 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8:15, 8:10, 8:20, it don't matter what window we're playing on. Every team is circling and putting a bounty on Marshawn Lattimore's head, because one of 2 things are going to happen when you target Marshawn Lattimore. You're going to complete the pass for a nice little chunk, or he's going to hold you or interfere with you or tussle with. He's going to commit a penalty, or he's going to get beat. That's who Marshawn Lattimore is in 2025. Sound familiar? Sound familiar? Because I hate to make the juxtaposition because it's nasty as hell, but Sounds like Benjamin St. Juice when he was here in D.C. You expected one of two things, a penalty or completion. And we traded some top-notch coin to get my guy, Marshawn Lattimore. And Southeast Sean, he must be in Southeast or something because he ain't really made many plays. How many times have we seen Marshawn Lattimore in position to make a play? Not running behind someone who just caught a pass on her, like literally jumping a route or in position to make a play. He's played here now, what, 10, 11 games? Or is that a little too much? 7, 8? I don't know. Enough games that we've seen a sample size of, okay, this is who this guy is at this point of his career. Because he's not a spring chicken anymore. But I could probably count 3 or 4 times Marshawn's actually been in position to make a play since he's been here. And that is not fun. Because like I was talking about earlier on Wangati's channel, we need to get return on investment from some of these players we acquire. Laramie Tunsil, absolutely balling. You can accept the fact that he gets a penalty a week because he's kicking Bama's out the club and putting dicks in the dirt for 60 minutes a week, and he's protecting his quarterback. Return on investment. Deebo Samuel's been the best player on the team so far. Return on investment. You traded for players, you're getting something out of them. Marshawn's played more games than both of those guys, and we've not had a lot of positive to talk about this player since he showed up in town. So maybe we only need to put him in man. And when we actually do put you in man, stop committing penalties. Stop going to the media and talk about, oh, they're running man beaters. Stop getting beat. Stop getting beat. Jesus Christ, bro. Like, we traded for Marshawn Lattimore to be the cornerback 1 here. Trey Amos is the best corner on the roster, and it ain't close right now. And he's played 4 games in his NFL career. I understand he's talented. I understand he's got the goods. He should not be outclassing Mikey and Marshawn the way he is. And as hard as we are on Marshawn, we need to be hard on Mikey too. And I know everybody's like, Mikey's better on the outside, put him back there. I want Mikey to just stay where the hell he's at and just get good again and lock in and be the player we drafted him to be. And for him to do that, Joe Witt needs to play him like the player we drafted him to be. I don't see Mikey on enough blitzes. I don't see him close to the line. Like, let these guys be who you brought them here to be. Done are the days, or at least supposedly or allegedly, where we bring in a player and make them do the antithesis of what they've been in their career so far. Marshawn Lattimore is a press man corner. Put his ass in press man and live with the results, even though that hasn't been great when he's been here either. Mikey Sanders still did catch an interception. He better not have dropped that interception because Penix threw the ball straight to him, but that was a good spot for him. End zone, underneath, making a play and jumping an assignment. There we go. Need more of that. Trey Amos was not great on Sunday, but Trey Amos is better than the other 2 cornerbacks in the room. I still think it's too early to bench Lattimore because you have to ride. You have to ride to the sunset with Lattimore at this point. I know. Everybody can be held accountable. Everybody can get benched. We have to ride with Lattimore, bro. We have to ride with him. And Mikey has to stay his little ass in the slot because I want no parts of big receivers, 6'4", 6'5" receivers running the fade with little ass Mikey Sanders still. I'm cool on that, man. Appreciate you, Alex, for the $5 super chat donation. Igbenogany should be starting over Lattimore at this point. Lattimore is washed. Lattimore is indeed washed, but we're going to have to live with it. We're going to have to live with the results at this point. And I don't know if I want Igbenogany starting on the outside either. So that would mean Mikey little ass would get popped back out on the outside. Alex, thank you for rocking with the guy and for your 1 month of membership on the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Greg, appreciate you for the $1.99. Nobody in the media will question Joe Witt Jr. except Lake. So you already know my messy ass. I texted Lake and I said, Lake, please ask this question when Joe Witt is at the podium on Thursday. Just please, just for me in the chat, we all request that you ask this question, Lake. Do you guys practice against pre-snap motion? And what is leading to the coverage gaffes when motions and pre-snap movement are coming? Because it's almost like they've never seen it before. That shit is like Duolingo day one for the defense every time they see it. But I agree. Like we do as content creators, like we do as fans, and what we should do, we should call shit out when we see it. We are the paying customer. The media, you got to grill guys sometime. The honeymoon phase is over. This team is better than what they've put out during 4 weeks of the season so far. This team should be sitting at 3-1 right now, and they aren't. And it was because of a combination of everybody involved. Nobody is eating the pie alone. There's a whole lot of blame pie to divvy up between the coaching staff, the front office, and the players on the field. And injuries are part of the game. I don't want to hear about Terry and Jayden being out when you're giving up only 6 incompletions to Michael Penis Jr. When Drake London out that bitch looking like Jerry Rice. And we knew what Bijan gonna do. Why is Tyler Algier cooking up? Bro, they had Tyler Algier and Bijan looking like that backfield in Arkansas with McFadden and Felix Jones back in the day. Like, bro, what in the thunder and lightning dominance? Kyle Pitts was out there looking like exactly why he went top 5 or 10. And I would never take a tight end that high. He looked like the guy that should have went that high versus us on Sunday. The defense got to get their lives together, y'all. The defense got to get their lives together. Someone need to get cussed out. Joe Witt maybe needs to come down from the booth and get a better feel on the sideline, actually interacting with players one-on-one and not just in the headset with Bobby Wagner. Maybe he needs to come bring his Surface Pro to the pond on the sidelines and talking to these guys, because since communication is an issue, bring your ass closer to the field and let's work out those communication gaps, because Joe Witt Jr. is about another one of those Sunday performances away from getting his play calling duties stripped, snatched off his chest. So we got some things we need to change on this side, man. We got some change. Let's get into our grades. Positional grades, MVP, most important, my most improved, rookie of the year so far. Let's get into our rubric and our grades for the first quarter of the season. But before we do so, Rio 10 on SeatGeek for 10% off. I've been looking to find the best deal on Washington Commanders tickets for the 2025 season, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sporting events, festivals, and more. The NFL is right around the corner and MLB is in full swing. I love using SeatGeek. Recently used it, lock in my training camp tickets. Most notably, I was at the Grand National Tour with my son, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA at Northwest Stadium. SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 through 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And you know I had to come through for y'all using promo code RIO10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code RIO10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically sent to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring this video. Shout out to everybody who used the code so far. Rio10 on SeatGeek. Get your tickets today. But moving on to grades for the season so far. Grades in superlatives for the first quarter. You know, in class, in school growing up, you get class superlatives. I won the Blabbermouth Award because I like to yap. Almost won Best Dressed one time because I used to put that shit on back in the day. We're going to give out some superlative award, starting with MVP of the 2025 season through one quarter. I don't know about you guys, but my MVP, it's easy. It's unanimous. I don't even have to think twice about it. It is Tyshawn Raekwon Samuel Sr. Deebo Samuel is the MVP of the Commanders through one quarter of the season. It's not close. Don't even have to think too hard about it. That boy is balling. And he's wearing so many different hats for the organization right now. He's wearing so many different hats. Like, they had to take him off kick return this week. They had to take him off kick return and let Luke resume those duties for this week. But Debo is balling, bro. They told me Debo was overweight. They told me Debo was built like me. They told me Debo was fat. They told me Debo was washed. Debo is the best player on the field for the Washington Commanders in 2025. And stats don't even got to tell the full story. But he's already over 20 catches. He's already over 200 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and the boy is almost taking a kick back to the crib in the first 3 games of the season. And the only reason he didn't on Sunday is because Luke took over those duties, because Debo is now wide receiver 1 while we wait for Terrence McLaurin to return. But Debo is the MVP. He built up a rapport all summer with Jayden Daniels, with Terry McLaurin holding in for his contract, and it's paid dividends going into this season. Built an immediate rapport with backup quarterback Marcus Mariota, and he adds that extra wrinkle to the backfield and picks up chunks, and he keeps the chains moving. I'm glad to see it coming, man. I'm glad to see Debo looking like the Debo we imagined he could be. And like my point, I'm going to keep hammering home, Washington getting actual return on investment from a player that we spent hard-earned draft capital on. Point blank, period. But MVP for me is easily Debo Samuel. What up, Chanel? What up, Chanel? What up, what up, what up? The D might have looked better without missed tackles, possibly. And I want to get to a point this year, Chanel, where we don't have to reach and we don't have to concoct and manufacture ways for the defense to look good, because they did it on their own. They went out and got it out the mud and did it themselves. But without missed tackles, and if they turned at least one more of those turnover opportunities into a field flipping situation, then yes, maybe the defense would have looked better. At some point, we got to stop coulda, woulda, shoulda, and we have to get down to it. But Debo Samuel, no S at the end, not doing that extra shit we like to do as black people. We just throw an S on everything. Magics, Heaths, Samuels, but Walmarts. Debo Samuel's my MVP, and it's pretty unanimous at this point. Next award for the 2025 season, most improved player, also unanimous, also with ties to San Francisco, someone I've been very critical of. Apologies, and please continue your services here. Talk about Lucas McCaffrey. We don't got to call him Lucas no more. He is Luke. He is LMC. He might got him a nickname now. Luke McCaffrey is balling right now. Luke McCaffrey is on another planet right now. And to some people, y'all might say, okay, he only has 96 yards this year. Luke McCaffrey has touchdowns in back-to-back games. I'm going to say that again for those in the back that did not hear me because I was not loud enough. Luke McCaffrey has back-to-back games with a touchdown, a receiving touchdown. And the first one was a little Mickey Mouse. It was garbage time. We was, you know what I mean? Just, all right, let's just score one more because we can. But the touchdown versus the Falcons, fire. Absolute fire. Beautiful play design, beautiful execution. Luke McCaffrey scored in back-to-back games, ladies and gentlemen. That is 2 more touchdowns than I had on my bingo card for Luke McCaffrey to score in all of 2025. I told you the bar and the barometer is very low for Luke McCaffrey. He's already exceeded my season-long expectations. He put another 100 yards up and scored one more time. It's better than I ever dreamed of. Luke McCaffrey is a contributing member of the Washington. Give him a goddamn round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Luke McCaffrey has had a better back-to-back regular season sequence than Diami ever had in DC. So we can stop talking about Diami, whose career high is 300 yards. Luke McCaffrey is now 200 yards away from that. Just saying. Luke has become accidentally important because Noah Brown and Terry McLaurin are out. And maybe that was the best thing that ever happened to him. Luke McCaffrey, he's on his Disney plot shit right now. Most improved player of the year, and it's by a freaking mile. If it ain't Luke, who else is it? Y'all talk to me. Who's the most improved player if it ain't Luke McCaffrey? Honorable mention, Chris Paul. Chris Paul has earned the starting guard spot, and he's getting comfortable next to Laramie Tunzel over there. You get an honorable mention. Did y'all have anybody else for most improved player on the team? Because it's Luke. It's Luke and nothing else for me. It's just Luke. Luke out that bitch by himself right now. Hello. Luke McCaffrey, man. And dog, he's almost taking a kickback to the, like Debo might have, but he took us to the 50 2 weeks in a row. And if he didn't fall versus the Raiders, that's a tutty. So if Debo can't return for any game, I think we're good to go because Luke McCaffrey done carved himself out a niche. Dude, Armstrong, I think Armstrong was good for us. Like, he been building on it ever since the playoffs. Dorrance Armstrong had a sack in every playoff game, had the biggest turnover of the season for us, and I think injuries were the only thing that slowed Dorrance Armstrong down in his first season. But McNichols, I like that one too. Hey, you're not going to be – hey, listen, man. I know y'all living high off life on that tie game y'all played on Sunday. Hey, be nice to the boy. He's actually playing. Chris Rodriguez looks very good. But for whatever reason, maybe it's because we're down or Cliff just forgets that he has running plays in the playbook. We get away from the run despite the fact that the running backs are killing it when they actually get the ball in their hand. But most improved player is most certainly our guy. It's most certainly our guy, Luke McCaffrey. Rookie of the year right now. Rookie of the year for the team so far. Oh, yeah, Payne is balling. Payne is definitely up there. He's definitely up there. Deron Payne looks great. He looks active. He's going crazy. So, rookie of the year so far. Trey Amos looks like one of those. So that feels like the easy answer, but I'm going to stick to the hat that I got on my head right now, bro. We don't give him enough opportunities, but this guy, to me, he's such a good running back. You know it when you see it. You know, it's like magic. When you believe it when you see it. He doesn't get touches, but every time he gets the ball in his hands, it looks special. Every time he get it, it looks like he could go. It could break. A big play or a chunk play is waiting to happen. And that's even on the plays where the line gets its ass whooped and he has a defender breathing down his neck the second the ball touches his breadbasket. He is different. And when he gets one of those 15, 17, 18 touch games, that box score might look crazy because this guy is a dog. He's a dog. Even when we finally remember how to run a screen, when Cliff gets back on his Screensberry shit, he could eat as a pass catcher as well as a normal running back. But Bill is different, bro. It's fun. Exactly. It's Blue Magic. It's a brand name. Dog, shout out to Bill, man. Shout out to Metaphor. Get your Bill hat on burguntee.com. BURGUNTEE.com. Bill got to get touches more. And I understand we're not trying to get Jayden Daniels or Marcus Mariota, Alex Smith, Joe Theismann. You know, we're not trying to get their legs obliterated because a running back couldn't pick up a blitz. But here's the thing. Just run him and get him off the field. Run him and get him off the field. I don't care if the defense knows we're running it when he's on the field. Give him the football. They got to stop him when he gets going. He has elite vision. 5.8 yards a carry, so he's 6 yards a carry, bro. 6 yards a pop every time he touches the football. He has that innate ability to Now he has foresight. He sees it before it's there. And that is the opposite of what the last starting running back had here. He sees it before it opens up. He follows his blocks and he finds it, and he's decisive about getting to it. But shout out to Bill, man. Bill's my rookie of the year. I'm going to go co-rookies of the year because Trey Amos looks like a starting cornerback. He looks like the best cornerback on this roster so far through 4 weeks. And him and Bill, they look the part. They look like two building blocks. Obviously, we want to see more and how they continue to ascend, especially in a larger role. But Trey Amos and Bill absolutely look the part. And Amos, he looks different than all the other corners we got in the room right now. So we talked about our rookie of the year. We got to talk about the rookie that we took in the first round again. We got to talk about the rookie we took in the first round. Josh Connerly Jr. It's been a roller coaster. It's been about what you should expect from a guy who played left tackle his whole career and is now playing the right side. A guy who we were told did not have the functional strength yet. He's young, he's raw, he's wet behind the ears. He's allowed 4 sacks through 4 weeks, 2 hits, 13 pressures, has 4 penalties, and a pass blocking grade of 43.2 so far. Josh Connerly Jr. It has not all been beautiful, but it feels like it comes with the territory of growing pains in this league. Not all tackles are going to come out the box already assembled. Assembly is required for some first round picks. But I know that it's a first round pick. You're not trying to hear none of that shit. You're trying to see them get right to it. And with Washington's need and lack for a young elite type pass rusher, y'all not trying to hear any of that. But I think Josh Connerly Jr. is going to be fine. Let's get into grades. Let's get into grading. So we're going to start with the offensive line first. How are you grading the offensive line through 4 weeks? There's been some movement. Brandon Coleman has now become an NBA 2K streamer and is a healthy scratch inactive on game days. Laramie Tunzel, you know what he do on the left side. Tyler Biotish has been pretty good at center still. He has his moments. Even got him a little cameo in Jayden's new Chunky Soup commercial. Then we got at right guard, Sam Cosmi's coming back soon, but Allegretti and replaced by Wiley at guard, and the evolving roller coaster rookie experience of Josh Connerly Jr. I'm going to give the offensive line a B- because they only got wrecked 1 week to me. In 1 week of the season, they got their lunch taken from them. They got bullied. They got passed around like a jailhouse thought. 1 week of the season. Only one time. So they're having a pretty good season, and they did well enough on Sunday. He does well enough on Sunday that I'm not going to hold them too accountable for Sunday's loss. But I'm going to give the offensive line a B-. A B-. What say y'all? I see some B's. I see some B-, a little bit of the above. Let me see. C+. C. B-. B- sounds just about right. A C- and a B- and a C+ are pretty much the same thing, but optics makes one sound better than the next one. But B- sounds about right for the offensive line, man. But just know, help is on the way. Help is on the way. Sam Cosmi's coming soon. His 21-day return to action, back to practice window has now been activated. Sam Cosmi is in a practice jersey out there with a helmet on and getting active again. We love to see it. B- to C+ because there's nothing stellar about a B- or a C+. It's a little bit better than average. It's fine. It's fine. It's not one of the team's weaknesses. Let's go to the wide receiver room. Or matter of fact, let's call it the pass catchers. Let's combine tight end and wide receiver. Deebo Samuel is probably going to give the room a curve. Him and Zach Ertz, because they're they get it done all the time. They always show up. They do their job. But I'm going C here. I'm going C here because if Deebo and Zach Ertz didn't exist, nobody other than Luke McCaffrey is really bringing the room up. Ben Sinnott had a golden opportunity to become something, some type of contributor for this team with John Bates out. Ben Sinnott didn't catch a pass. Ben Sinnott did not contribute with John Bates off the field. Ben Sinnott is probably not going to be much of a contributor here in the offense at this point. Wide receiver wide. I love what Jalen Lane provides as a returner. He doesn't offer me much as a wide receiver right now. We need to tighten those hands up. We also need to stop throwing him the fucking ball in tightly contested situations. We need to stop trying to make him be bigger than 5'9", because he's not. And I'm not short shaming nobody. Not doing that. But Jalen Lane, the pass catchers get a C from me. A C. Deebo and Ertz, y'all get y'all own grade because y'all been holding it down here. Terry, when you get your acorn head ass back out on the football field, you need to start producing. You need to start putting yourself in better situations and getting separation. Yes, they need to target and game plan more opportunities for him, but he also has to do more on his part, getting separation on a route by route basis. We paid you to be one of those guys. Be one of those guys when you get back on the football field. Luke McCaffrey, shout out to you. Please keep ascending. Please keep being relevant and a contributing member of the football team. Noah Brown, I move as if he's not on the football team anymore because when he was actually on the football field, he was just dropping passes left and right and being unreliable. Chris Moore is Chris Moore. Robbie Chosen Anderson has been added to the roster. I don't really have much thoughts about that. That's why you haven't heard me say much about the acquisition, if you want to call it that, of 32-year-old. Probably got as much football left in him as me. Robbie Chosen Anderson. But C for me, man. C for me from pass catchers so far. Ben can block. He can block, but he's a fullback or he's an offensive lineman at this point. But Ja'Cory Brooks, shout out to Tate Martin for catching a pass the other day too. You know, pass catchers get a C from me. They get a C from me through 4 weeks of the season. Quarterback. Let's go to quarterback. No, let's end with quarterback. Let's go to running back now. We're moving on to running back room. The running backs get a B+ from me because it feels like we can run for, and this also counts Deebo Samuel and the rushing we get from the quarterbacks. I'm going to count that in the running back room as well. We can run for 200 at will. Yeah, we out here. We trying to bring the vibes back. We trying to restore the feeling. Lou had said lat pick 6, and I said undefeated October. Why not? Why not undefeated October, man? That team we were in September, that ain't us. That ain't us. It's getting back to, we got to be hunters again. We got to be attackers again. We got to set the tone, baby. Undefeated October. Hashtag undefeated October. That could all crumble and I could look crazy and we could lose on Sunday. But fuck that until I see it. Undefeated October. But B+ for me for the running back room. I would give it an A, but they haven't got the opportunities to put A-type production out. But I've seen us run for 200 times a couple times this year. It's an A+ easily, like my guy said, if Bill can get some more carry. And yes, I do understand why Bill is not on the field as much as we'd like. I do understand. He's not a pass blocker, you know? The guy started his college career playing for Alabama State. That's like blocking me. And now you're blocking NFL players. I get it. He's not a blocker. Well, guess what? His job is not to block. And If Ben Sinnen ain't gonna be a tight end, put his ass back there and have him block for Jayden or Marcus Mariota. Put your fullback back there to put hands on somebody. But look, man, running back room looks good. Chris Rodriguez lost weight, looks like he lost weight. He looks explosive. He's been on that Rio Juan Gotti plan of getting active. Chris Rodriguez looked good. Jeremy McNichols had a longer run than I ever expected to see in his entire career. But what that don't mean is you need to put Jeremy McNichols back to take a wildcat snap. What the fuck was Cliff Kingsbury thinking on Sunday? At what point did you want to reach into the bag and say, direct snap to Jeremy McNichols? Bro, why? Why would you do that? Like, what possessed you to give Jeremy McNichols a wildcat snap? That we got to put that in the same part of the playbook where Chris Rodriguez ran a corner route in the preseason game. We need to throw that shit away, not even come back to it. Don't exist. Don't bring that back. We don't need to bring that shit back ever again. But run blocking has been good for the most part, and the running backs have been getting it done, and the rushing we've got from the quarterbacks when they actually rush. Marcus Mariota, for whatever reason on Sunday, I don't know if he was instructed to not run the ball. There were yards left on the field because he refused to take off. Marcus, remember, I know your big age, you know, your memory might not be what it used to be, but in your heyday, when you won at Heisman at Eugene, your legs were a part of what got you there, brother. You left some shit on the field. You left some shit on the field with your feet on Sunday. B+ for the running back room for me, which ends offensively with the quarterbacks, which is interesting because I would say Jayden was a B week 1. Everybody was an F week 2, including Jayden. Week 3, Marcus Mariota was almost flawless. If it wasn't for that stupid ass fumble, he had a perfect game because he really didn't miss any reads and he was sharp the whole game and he was making shit happen on the ground. And Sunday, he played good enough to win, but I mean, 156 yards passing. That is the Jalen Hurts special. That's not enough. It's not enough. We don't got the Eagles roster to be able to supplant that, but it was enough on the scoreboard. But I'm going to give the quarterbacks I'm trying to think. What am I giving the quarterbacks? I'm giving them a C+. See, B-. We're gonna go B-. B- for the quarterback. I can't give him a C because Marcus Mariota was good, man. Marcus Mariota was good. So I'm gonna give the quarterbacks a B- so far. A B-, and that's a cumulative grade between Jayden and Marcus. So B-. It's been nothing. Marcus, you damn near get an A for your services because backup quarterbacks only need to be relied on for a short period of time. And the short amount of time that you played well enough that the team could have and should have went 2-0 while you were out there on that field. So I ain't mad at you, man. I ain't mad at you at all. He killed it. He killed it. He did enough to win the game. We can nitpick some things, but B- for the quarterback. But now that Jayden has returned, we need to hold Jayden to the standard that we know he holds himself at. We need Jayden to look like Jayden again. We need 5 to look like 5. This team does not have a superpower if Jayden is not at the best of his abilities because he's the ultimate neutralizer. He's what keeps Washington in it, and he's what makes Washington a long night in the film room when they show up on the schedule. B- ain't good enough, but B- is what it is right now. You know, Rio sounds like Tupac. I ain't mad at you. You know, B- for the quarterback. So to put the offensive bow on grades for our progress report, how are we grading Cliff Kingsbury through 4 weeks of the season? Because I'm giving Cliff a C+. I'm giving Cliff Kingsbury a C plus because I know he's better than this. I know Cliff Kingsbury is better than this. And yeah, we got 140 burger through 4 weeks. Honestly, I'm going to take the plus away. You get a C. Clifford Kingsbury, I know just how good you are at diagnosing offense. You're getting a C, just a C. Average grade from me through 4 weeks of the season. You called a good enough game Sunday to win, but you acted like it was against the law to run the football in a game that we kind of needed to take some of the time of possession lead back. And we all know what the nightmare week 2 was. Week 1, we weren't the sharpest in play calling or in execution. You get a C because I understand how good Cliff is at calling offense. He has not lived up to that so far. So Cliff Kingsbury gets a C. The quarterbacks get a B minus. The running backs get a B plus. The offensive line gets a B minus, and the wide receivers get a C. That all sounds like a C plus offense through the first 4 weeks of the season. And considering the offense is clearly the stronger unit of this team, C plus not going to get it done going into the next quarter of this season for, shall I say, hashtag undefeated October. That's not going to get it done for undefeated October. We got the Chargers. We got the Bears on Monday night. We got the Cowboys who could put up 40 on everybody. And we got the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead to close out the month of October. So offensively through the first quarter of the season, C plus unit. Not good enough. Somebody's got to step up. And now we're going to switch gears to the nastier side of the ball. The much nastier, the more interesting discussion side of the ball. We about to talk about that defense, but before we do,
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code RIO91. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
all right. Defensively, I guess we can start with the defensive line. We've seen a lot of good out of Payne and Kinlaw. As of late, maybe not as much Kinlaw, but Payne's been consistent for most of the time. Johnny Newton makes a flash, and we don't hear from him for a couple weeks. Dorrance Armstrong started the season very strong. He looks like he's on pace to have an easy double-digit sack season. We haven't seen consistency getting to the quarterback from much of our other edges. We lost Dietrich Wise for the season. We lost Javonte Jean-Baptiste for the season. Von Miller's 100 years old, and he looks 100 years old, and he gets to the quarterback occasionally, and then we don't hear from him for most of the game. How are we grading the defensive line so far in the 2025 season? B-ish? B minus? No, I mean C plus. C plus. It's a C plus. Payne and Kinlaw, their grade is probably something that needs to be isolated from the rest of the group. That's a C. That's a C plus type of group. C plus. It's not awful. It's not good. C plus for the defensive line because Dorrance Armstrong is on pace for double-digit sacks. Kinlaw and Payne look formidable in the middle. Sometimes Johnny Newton does, but it's not consistent enough pass rush. I don't care what these pie graph analytics say. I see it with my own eyes. Quarterbacks be comfortable as shit versus this team. I'm going to give them a C plus on the defensive line. They don't give us too much to have to stew over, It's Payne and Kinlaw and Dorrance keeping it at a C plus because the rest of the guys, we'll see. I'd like to see more consistency out of Johnny Newton. Starting to have some odd conversations about that second round last year, the Mikey Johnny Senate second round. I need to see more. Definitely need to see more. Linebackers. Very interesting because Bobby as old as Bobby is, and as much as a liability Bobby can be in coverage, I think this defense would die. They would flatline. They would catastrophically collapse if Bobby Wagner wasn't on the field. He's like the one thing that holds this defense together. He's the one person that's always in the right place, that always sees what's happening, and that usually makes the tackle when he's in the vicinity. And he's the only really reliable blitzer. We need that to be Frankie Louvu, but Bobby Wagner wears a lot of hats even at this old age. Where do y'all grade the linebackers so far? I'm going to give them a C- and a D+ about the same thing, right? And this ain't because of Bobby. It's because after Bobby, Frankie Louvu, he looked fine on Sunday. He hasn't looked like much of a demon this year, or screw loose Oos that we remember that he was in 2024. But we're not getting anything from any of the other linebackers in the room. They keep telling us at the podium how much Jordan McGee means to the defense. Kane Madrano be out this bitch inactive. We don't get anything from the other guys. Ali Cahoe is a special teams player. The linebackers are old. The linebackers can't cover. It's a D+, C- for me. And that's not because of Bobby, because Bobby is literally the glue to this defense. This defense would die if he was off the field. There's a reason his old ass has to be out there for 100% of snaps. It's because they can't hold it together. He's the defensive coordinator for real. He's the defensive coordinator, but he needs someone to give him spells and to give him some breaks. He needs some on-field PTO because Unc be tired, bro. What Unc about to do in the open field with Bijan Robinson, man? Y'all saw how hard it was for my boy to run with Tucker Kraft. Defense ranked 32nd in time to throw. Yeah, this atrocious, man. It's atrocious. And Michael Penix was comfortable for a majority of the afternoon. Moving on to Washington's secondary. This is going to include the cornerback room and the safety room. Y'all go ahead and have at it with this one. I already know where y'all going with this one. The secondary gets a what? Because this is a graded on a curve D for me. I don't want to give him an F because I'm giving the defensive coordinator an F, but I'm giving the secondary gets a D, man. And I'm talking about whatever the lowest on the grading rubric D is, that's the D we're giving the defense. And oh man, we're giving defense D now. Oh, that was crazy. That was very Louis T like. Pardon me on that one. But the secondary gets a D, and that is a graded on a curve D for me. An F, I ain't mad at y'all for saying that. I'm not mad at y'all for giving them an F. I'm not going to hold you. But Trey Amos is like the only consistently solid player in the room. Nobody in the secondary, talking about D and giving it a curve is definitely crazy, man. I be wilding sometimes. Curved D is crazy. That's how we moving on the first October day on Wednesday afternoon. We're giving the defense a curved D. Amos is the only consistent grinder in that room. And that's it. That's it, man. Quan Martin, we need him to. Quan Martin is probably the guy who eventually will be the turnover forcer on this team. But Quan Martin is far too many times depended on to be the last line of defense. And Quan Martin's not a good last line of defense, y'all. We can't make him a single high safety. Y'all could put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. Quan Martin is not a single high safety, and we get in trouble when we try to have him back there as the last line of the defense. How many times do teams got to go vertical on us with no safety help over the top for us to realize, okay, yeah, we don't have one of those back there. Did y'all see the pick that the Falcons got that Marcus Mariota threw? Did y'all see the range on Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame, their rookie safety? We don't have that type of range in our safety room. And I understand Will Harris is out. And we're missing the shit out of Will Harris right now. But that safety room, Quan Martin has to play better, and we need to tell the truth. You know how they do Tell the Truth Monday? This is Tell the Truth Wednesday. And I love Jeremy Reeves' story. I love Jeremy Reeves, the all-pro special teamer. I love the violence and the tenacity that Jeremy Reeves plays with. But Jeremy Reeves is not an NFL safety, and we need to stop fucking lying to ourselves. We need to stop. Jeremy Reeves was lost as shit on that football field on Sunday versus the Atlanta Falcons. Jeremy Reeves, did y'all used to watch the show The Jersey on the Disney Channel back in the day where they put that old-ass, nasty, dingy jersey on and they turn into their favorite NFL player or NBA player? Jeremy Reeves looked like a pros versus Joes player that's fast in a football uniform on Sunday. He was lost, bro. He was lost as shit out there. And he plays 100 miles per hour blindly. You can get away with playing blindly and fastly on special team. That's why crackhead ass Percy Butler and his crackhead speed, it works on the punt team. Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves, special teams demons. Very fast, no awareness. Not going to get it done. That boy was looking horrible on Sunday, bro. He's not a safety. I know he tried to put it out there. Man, y'all pigeonholing me into you're a special teamer, sir, and that is okay. Everybody has a role to play on the team, and everybody ain't a starter. Some of us don't need to play on downs 1 through 3, and that is okay. That is okay. Love the violence. It was not violent on Sunday. He was missing tackles left and right on top of being lost in coverage, on top of never being able to diagnose what the fuck was happening in front of him. Jeremy Reeves is not a safety. And we're going to get to Joe Witt's grade in just a second. I heard my GOAT is live right now. At the podium, you got to hear from the quarterback because I miss watching Five play. This football season ain't felt right because we ain't really seen Five in his element yet. Five is at the podium. You know he got a beanie on. It's October 1st and the wind is breezing, so his anemic ass probably moving around in a chinchilla right now on the campus. But Jayden's back. Let's hear what he's got to say. That boy hates the video.
Jayden, I know you said you never really went through something like the last couple of weeks, not being able to play. What has the last couple of weeks been like for you overall, and what do you think you've learned from this process?
Been tough. Obviously, you know, as a competitor, you want to go out there and help your team in any way possible. So, kind of being sidelined.
His tone be changing as soon as you start talking.
This past couple of weeks, you know, we're super tough, but DQ of my team, I was there for me because they knew how much it meant to me, and I try to return that same energy, and I think I was able to do that.
Where did you watch the game on Sunday, and what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a tough one. Wish we could have pulled out the win. You know, I was cheering from those guys from my couch, the comfort of my own home.
And
he did not
do you
want to
expect
answer
to
that
play
question.
Sunday?
I guess we'll have to see it Sunday.
Oh, yep. You know, he's following the company line.
Jayden, I saw you wearing a brace during practice today. Is that the plan of if you do play on Sunday to wear that brace?
I guess we got to see on Sunday.
Okay, let me ask you this. With the brace, any limitations? What is that like? Obviously, I've never worn a brace before. So as an athlete, what is that?
Me either.
Do you like it? Hate it?
Hell no, you don't like that shit.
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but
he hated that shit.
I have to wear, then you know, I'll do anything possible. But we'll see on Sunday.
Jayden, I know you're telling us we'll see on Sunday, but
hates these
just
niggas,
thinking
though.
about it, the competitor you were touching on a little bit. How badly, if you're healthy and able to, do you want to be able to get back out there and play and
I
win?
think that's the inspired change jump.
I want to get back out there 2 weeks ago, so yeah. If I had the opportunity, you know, I would.
I'm telling y'all, this boy was annoying as shit not
Just a
playing
quick
these
follow-up.
last
I
2 weeks. He
remember
was
all the way
begging
back
them
to
play.
the first loss that you had against Tampa last year, and you told us after that game, I don't like losing. So how tough is it to have to watch losses happen and not be able to contribute in those situations?
Same way. Both tough to, you know, endure as a competitor. So nobody likes losing at all.
Shout out to Metaphor for the Bill hat. Burgundy.com. Get you one. Media tweaking.
Do I? Yeah. Oh, also the Mets lost. Did not make the playoffs. So that's probably the biggest thing, that brought a smile to my face this past weekend. They had the opportunity to play the Marlins to clinch a playoff
He
spot,
has risen.
but they
Right.
lost, and so did the Reds. So I hope you guys have been watching the Dodgers. I have. And Charlie
Jaden's
has
back
too, 'cause his
fully
team
at
is not in the
practice.
playoffs.
Cosmi and Terry practicing as well. Limited too.
Oh yeah, he already lost. Yeah, no, coming soon. It'll most definitely be coming soon. He has not. He has not. He lost. He lost last year when the Dodgers beat the Mets. He lost this year when the Mets didn't make the playoffs. He is. So obviously California. Yeah,
Vibes are back,
please,
man.
it is.
The vibes are back.
Back to it though.
Jaden smiling. He's at the podium, not giving a fuck about the media. We're back,
You
y'all.
are an LA guy. Like, what would it mean?
I'm from the Inland Empire.
Okay, there you go. But what would it mean for you to
I'm
go
from the
back out there
IE.
and play
Don't
in
say
that
I'm from LA.
It would mean the world.
Boy, stop this question.
I plan on having a
Flanders.
lot of people in the game. So that is the hometown, and be able to play back in my hometown as a pro, it would mean everything.
Team site
And
or
then
Fanatics.
as far as your movement and all that, Dan said he wants to see how you move and all that. When did you feel like you were back to yourself, moving the way you want to move?
I mean, if you let me tell it, I would have wanted to play 2 weeks ago, but I guess in their eyes, probably this past weekend.
He trying to let people
is
know
when
that
I
that
started
shit
feeling
was not
myself.
my decision. I'm supposed to be out there.
How was it
wanted
today?
to.
What I know you practiced in full, but do you feel like you can do all the things that you
They
normally
sell
would
fast,
in the
man.
field?
Like I said, I felt like I could do that 2 weeks ago. So, but I don't make those calls.
Look, like he
2 weeks ago,
trying
you
to-
felt you could do it. 2 weeks
I mean, if
ago.
you put your mind to it, a lot of things you could do anything. So, but no, I felt good out there.
We're so back.
And yeah, that's the
My
plan.
goat's so back.
After a game like Sunday, I'm sure everybody's got a bad taste in their mouths. How do you approach another road game against a front like LA's that can cause some problems?
Get it out, David. Come on, David.
Yeah, I
got
think
it.
you kind of just focus on us. And
Yep.
obviously they're coming off a bad taste in their mouth too, so we know we're gonna get their best game, and they're going back home. We're going on the road, so we haven't played the best on the road. So
At all.
kind of just focus on ourselves and
0-2.
go out there having fun and cutting it loose.
You guys were really good toward the end of last season on the road and had some big road wins. What do you think's been different so far this year?
I mean, each year is different. Even though it's only my second year, kind of figure that out. But that's kind of what the first month of football is for.
Yep.
More games are lost than won in the first month. So now it's kind of settling in, and
Time to get to
you
it,
gotta
y'all.
execute at a high level, especially on the road. We don't have the luxury, even though our fans travel great, to have our home fans and be in our home area. But so we got to bring our own juice and our own energy.
Hey, Jaden, I know you felt like you were ready to play last week, but does the knee feel better now than it did 7 days ago, 14 days ago?
I plan on going out there on Sunday, so yeah.
And you and Bobby are both Southern California guys. How did that kind of connection help you guys build that friendship so quickly when you both got here?
I think that's kind of the icebreaker. We're both from the same area. We both have the same area code on our phone.
Nope. Don't need him
909,
cross-training
so,
at this point.
That was kind of just the icebreaker, and then you kind of just figure out little things from there.
Now I'm gonna cut him
Hey,
off
Jaden,
at any
you've been
point,
able to
man.
sit
Y'all
back
know
and
how we
watch
do.
this team
We keep it on
offensively.
brand.
What have you seen from the offense these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, running the ball really well. A lot of guys are stepping up and contributing, even though we kind of dealt with a little injury bug. So a lot of guys are stepping up, even from the running back room. You got Ben that's been stepping up, Yankoff. So all those other guys, Trent Scott. So obviously the biggest person, Marcus. So they've been doing their thing, and they kind of all just execute at a high level. But yeah, we'll kind of create some explosive plays and getting guys back. So we'll build on from that.
Jayden, what did you maybe learn over the last couple of weeks when you weren't playing?
Probably say that, God works in mysterious ways. So I think he kind of
Trust the process.
had a plan for everything. So it's obviously just trusting his plan and, go back and rehab him.
Be like that sometime. Shake back.
To get back to this point and
Shake back.
I get to play in front of my home crowd.
And then the offense is going to look a little different than last time you're out there. Eckler's out, unsure on Terry, unsure on Noah. What adjustments do you guys need to make offensively to get back to that explosive unit you had last year?
Just focus on us and, guys going out making plays, me make throws and, we get this thing back rolling.
Jayden, just obviously watching the game from afar when you're sitting up in the top of the stadium or being at home, was there anything that you maybe saw differently, not being there on the field?
Yeah, kind of being up there, being up top, you obviously see everything. So I don't really look at it from that perspective, like, oh, why didn't probably Marcus throw this ball here or anything like that. You got to look through the eyes of the line of the fire. So it wasn't anything like I was looking at it differently. Obviously, you see what they're doing, and you can say the ball should be going here. But other than that, I was just just cheering on my team.
Jayden, how do you think you've progressed from last year to this year, even in the first 2 weeks that you were able to play, in terms of diagnosing coverages?
What?
That kind of just goes with experience. You get some games under your belt, you kind of understand what teams are trying to do in different pressures, and you kind of just look at different things of body language, tendencies, and stuff like that. So I'm still learning, but that's kind of where the growth I took from year 1 to year 2, and I'm still trying to learn even more.
Take us inside the mind of a quarterback.
Needed
you're
this.
looking at post-snap to try and figure out when teams are disguising coverages against you.
I would say it just depends on the concept and where you think you're trying to go with the football. You got different keys as far as safeties. They say safeties tell the truth, corners lie.
I die
so you're kind
inside.
of just trying to figure out different things within
I
the
would
box
die.
and the structure of the defense. And obviously it ties into your film study and who the defensive coordinator is.
This fan base walking on the
Jayden,
I-95.
knowing your importance to the team, if you're able to play on Sunday, will you have to be a little extra cautious to make sure you keep your health up, or
Nah, we
can you
just
even
playing
play
football, baby.
cautious
We
and
just
still
playing
be
football, baby. I do what I
effective and
do.
be your usual
Please
self?
answer this with
I just
swagger.
think it's that balance. You find that balance. Obviously, you want to be able to be available for the rest of the games, but you got to be smart, and that's kind of what we talked about. Just living to see another down, but just know if the game is on the line, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. So that's a different circumstance.
Whatever
too.
it takes to win. He gonna play his game. See y'all later. Don't even gotta say bye. See y'all when I need to see y'all again. That nigga hates the media so much. Yeah, man. A Benjamin St. Juice interception.
When you write, your tone influences how readers.
Cut all that out. But I don't think our fan base could survive a Benjamin St. Juice on Jayden Daniels interception, bro. Like, that would be a very hard thing to stomach. But to close this one out, let's grade the defensive coordinator. We graded the defense and all of its positional groups. We've graded the offense and all of its positional groups and the coordinator. Let's grade Joe Witt Jr., the defensive coordinator. All F's in the chat. I already know what's coming. No pluses, no minuses. I'll probably see some double and some triple F's. Joe Witt Jr., F on 4 weeks through the season so far, right? I'm assuming so. E. We giving them some E's in the chat too. A D? Okay. A G, a double F. D minus, man. Okay. He gets a D for dumbass. He got one more time. I'm not on the fire Joe Witt train, but we've definitely turned on the seat warmers in the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? I was about to say something. I'm not gonna say that. But Joe Witt Jr., there's still time. But if it continues to head on the I've seen so many bad statistics and pie chart analytics, and there's nothing good. Like, you can't even find ways to silver lining what the defense is doing right now. 25th in EPA per play, 28th in drop back EPA, 28th in passing yards per game, 32nd in time to throw. You can't even silver lining that shit. You can't silver lining it. You can't sell anything good about that shit right now. And there seems to be no correct way to play. No correct way to play Marshawn Lattimore at this point. So through the first 4 weeks of the season last year, in yards, we were 27th. This year, we're 24th. Improvement, I guess. And yards per attempt, 28th. This year, we're 30th. In running yards, last year, 23rd. This year, 13th. And then you get a bunch of 28th, 30th, 28th, 28th, 14th, 25th, 28th. That does not sound good enough, bro. We watched that defense start to take off and to be opportunistic and flip fields and turn the ball over when you were in Dallas. We need to see that. No curved grade for Joe. We're keeping it straight for Joe. It's an F so far for me. It's an F so far for me because I think some of these teams left some meat on the bone offensively, and these scores could have looked a lot differently than they actually ended up. So we've graded both units so far. Special teams gets an A-, and it's only a minus because Matt Gay was wilding for a couple weeks, but it has to start with an A because it feels like every single return has a chance of going to the crib. We get an A. And Matt Gay's coming off his best game of the year where he was 4 for 4 and even hitting from above 50 yards, which we were told he does not do. Special teams and Coach Izzo gets an A- for me. Dan Quinn, through your first month of the season, I'll put you and Adam Peters together. Y'all get a cumulative C to start the year. But good thing for the both of them, champions are not crowned in the month of September, because if they were, Dak Prescott would have a ring for every season he's played in the league so far. September is the month where fraudulents come out to play, and they come back down to earth by the end of October. So by Halloween, this should be a different Washington Commanders team. The vibes are back. Jayden is back at practice, knee brace or no knee brace. Well, he's wearing a knee brace. Sam Cosmi's been activated on his return to play shit. Terry's back at practice on a limited basis. Let's get back to being the team we came into this season expecting to be in. A lot of the team that we saw last year. Bring the magic back to 2025, because what we've seen through 4 weeks of the season is not going to get it done. And Washington needs to keep pace with the rest of the NFC. Must-win game coming up is SoFi. Homecoming King, Jayden Daniels returning to California. Let's bring the vibes back. Make sure y'all smash that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for as we push toward 25,000 subscribers? Tell a friend to subscribe to the Rio Robinson Rambling with Rio YouTube channel. And thank you one more time to Sleeper and SeatGeek for sponsoring this channel through the 2025 season. Rio91 is the code on Sleeper. Win some money off your boy. You could get free $20 to play with and win 1,000 times your money on the app right now. And any tickets to any concert, game, Disney on Ice, which is coming up, that I got to take my kids to, by the way. Anything you need, punch in Rio10 promo code on the Sleeper app. I will holler at y'all tomorrow unless something comes out later today that I need to speak on immediately. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.